Alongside sushi and ramen, tempura is another mandatory menu item for Japanese restaurants. So today, we are going to share the recipe for tempura. To fry, we use 4 cups of vegetable oil. For tempura butter, we use 1 large egg and 200 ml iced water and 1 cup of flour. Most of tempura chefs recommend that flour to water ratio should be 1:1. Today we are going to fry pumpkin, shrimp, zucchini, mushroom, asparagus, eggplant, carrot, and lotus root. For seasoning, we are going to use salt and green tea powder. Now we are going to show you how to prepare shrimps for tempura. Pull off the head if it is still attached. Pull off the outer shell and keep the last segment of shell and the tail tip on. Cut the tip of the shrimp tail as you see. Remove dirty water in the tail by holding the tip of the knife down on the tail and moving it from left to right, squeezing the water out from the cut tip. If you skip this process, water retained in the tail might create splatter in the oil. Then take off the shell from the middle tail. You just need to pull it out. Devein the back of the shrimp with a toothpick. The vein runs right along the back. Insert the tip of the toothpick sideways about ½ inch down from the head of the shrimp and pull the toothpick tip up towards you. This will lift up the vein and you can pull off the vein with the toothpick or with your hand. If the vein is broken, then insert again a bit lower towards the tail. If you can't find the vein, then don't worry about it. Make a couple of slits underside. Hold the shrimp with both hands and bend it backward to make it straight. Straighten the shrimp as much as possible in order to get the desired shape. Rinse the shrimp under running water. Cut lotus root into thin slices. Soak lotus root in vinegar water. For vinegar water, we use 2 cups of water and 1 teaspoon of vinegar. Discard the head of the eggplant first, then cut it into thin slices. After cutting eggplants, soak them into vinegared water. Discard the head of green peppers. This green pepper is called shishito. Peels the skin of asparagus. Cut zucchini into thin slices. Discard the bottom of stem and slice the rest of the stem thinly. You can fry it or use it for soup. For decoration, slice the surface of mushroom like this, and again, you can use this part for soup so that you don't waste your food. Take the seeds out with the tablespoon. Slice pumpkin into this shape. Peel the skin and cut it into thin slices. The cold tempura butter is absolutely necessary for crispy tempura. All the ingredients, water, egg, and flour must be cold prior to making the butter. And it has to be made right before you deep fry and has to be kept cold at all times to avoid activation of wheat gluten. Whisk an egg and add very cold water. And add flour. Over-mixing the butter will result in the activation of wheat gluten, which causes the flour mixture to become chewy and dough-like when fried. So do not over-mix. The temperature has to be between 160 to 180 degrees, depending on how long it takes to cook through the ingredients. If it takes a long time to cook, then deep fry at a lower temperature, because high temperature will cook the butter too fast and inside won't be cooked thoroughly. If you ask me what's the most difficult part of making tempura, I'd say it's to keep the right temperature at all times when deep frying. It cannot be too high or too low. You can check the temperature with the chopsticks or with the thermometer. When you see small bubbles around the chopsticks, it's ready for deep frying. For root vegetables, deep fry for 3 to 4 minutes. For vegetables and mushrooms, deep fry for 1 to 2 minutes. Do not overcrowd with ingredients. Remember, you only put ingredients taking up about half of the oil surface area. When you put too many ingredients at the same time, the oil temperature will drop quickly. So make sure to keep the right temperature all the time. What if the oil gets too hot? The quick solution to this is to add a bit of extra oil or add more cold buttered ingredients. When it comes to deep frying, it's all about temperature control. In order for ingredients to keep the butter on, we dust extra flour before put the ingredients in the butter. Flour works as glue and the butter tends to stay on the ingredients. After tempura is cooked, transfer tempura to a wired rack or paper towel to remove excess oil. For seasoning, mix 1 teaspoon of salt and a half teaspoon of green tea powder.